All right, welcome back, guys. Welcome back to another episode of the Black Diamond Podcast. Glad to have you here. Glad to have you in the building. Shout out to everyone here. All right, today we're starting a little bit later than how we usually start. I usually come on around 7:30, but had a quick business meeting. But we're gonna get started into the main portion of the show. We got the ladies ready, and we're gonna bring them on in a little bit. But first, you see the topic. We're talking about the rise of sex workers and single moms. So, usually I would discuss a little bit about what that means, but running a little bit short on time. So, we're going to jump straight into it and we'll discuss the points from there. So, let's bring on our first guest. Hello, hello.
I'm so sorry. Hit the wrong button.
It's fine. You can show your face or not show your face. It's up to you.
Right? Right.
Welcome to the Black Diamond Podcast. I'm the host, Will White. You can introduce yourself. You can start with your name, your
Hi,
age.
my name is Christine Mayo. I'm the
Okay.
inspiration for the book Through Blind Eyes. You can find it on Amazon.
Okay. Your age, education, and relationship status.
Okay, so my age is 50. My education is I went to the School of Hard Knocks. I didn't graduate from college. I did a little bit of college, but I basically learned as I went. And my relationship status is single but not single.
Single, but not single. I guess we'll get into that. We'll get into that a little bit later.
Right,
School of Hard Knocks, School of Life,
right.
streets, whatever you want to call it.
Uh,
You
I
got
do
some.
accounting, but I'm not an accountant. I don't have a degree, but I could do your books.
Okay. So, like a bookkeeper.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool. All right. Well, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
No problem. Usually, I would get into the topic. I would talk a little bit about it, but running a little bit short on time. So we're gonna jump into the topic, get your thoughts on it, break it down a little bit. So, topic is the rise of sex workers and single moms.
Okay.
So, before I give my thoughts, let me get your opinions on the current state of the dating market and if you think there's actually a problem with the way younger women are being more accepted into going into things like OnlyFans, the corn industry, and just posting provocative pictures on the internet.
Okay. So again, I'm 50, so I grew up in a different era. And back then it was I would I personally do what they're doing? No, but that's because I'm 50 and I can't. If I was a young girl growing up in this era, um I like posting sexy pics gets you likes, gets you followers, gets you money.
It does?
And so I'm not going to sit here and judge anyone about how they make their paper, about how they get their money. I would like to hope that as a younger me, I wouldn't do that because it follows you wherever you go. And I'm the marrying type. I was married once before. I'm divorced now. And I liked being married, just I didn't like who I was married to. And I feel as though, men, they like to say that they're open-minded about that, but nobody wants to drive a used car.
E- Exactly. So they do say they're open minded about that, but in reality, they would prefer their girl not be provocative on the internet or not be so thirsty for attention.
Exactly. If they kept it honest.
Exactly. But men can't be honest because if we're
No,
honest, then we're
no.
not going to get
It's not
sex.
in your DNA.
That you already know. Men can't be honest. Come on.
It's not in your DNA. I've learned that.
Men can't be honest. But
No, but
yeah, go ahead. What do you want to say?
no, but I mean, I would never, slut shame any woman. It's your body, your decision. You do what you want to do. But at the end of the day, we drive used cars because we have to, because you can't afford
He belongs
a
to the
brand new car.
streets.
Yeah, you can't afford a brand new car, so you're going to drive a used car because that's what you got to buy. But
That
if
is
you can
true.
buy what you want to buy, you gonna want a brand new car. You gonna want something that nobody else has, nobody else has seen, and that. So that's my mind frame of why I wouldn't
Perfect.
do.
I agree with that. And, I bring up the car analogy all the time where, you walk into a dealership and you're expecting a brand new car and you're paying full price for a brand new car.
But you're getting a
But
used
yet
one.
you find out it has 50,000 miles on it.
Yes,
Right.
and yeah,
And women hate to be compared to cars, but it's really, I'm not comparing you as an object. I'm really comparing the mindset.
right,
Right. And when you look at it, when paying full price to a man is basically getting down on one knee in marriage. So it's like he's getting down on one knee, and I'm not saying it's not okay for men to not get married and play games with women, but if you look at how relationships were set, I want to say 1950s, just back in the day,
right,
the women, in my opinion, were much more valuable from a traditional standpoint and a sexual value standpoint. Like they really
right,
held their sexual exclusivity to the heart.
right,
Um, but now it's kind of flipped where they get to have a whole phase. They get to,
She belongs to the streets.
be to the streets, have that phase to figure themselves out, heal,
right,
as they say, right? And then
right,
come to the marketplace and then still expect to get the same result. And
and
granted,
and stop.
there are going to be some men out there who are going to do that, but I
Right,
think men are starting to wake up a little bit more, and there comes a realization of hoflation, where you're paying the same price your forefathers did, but you're getting much less.
right.
So
And see, this is my thing. The same standards that I hold for myself, I hold for the man that I'm dealing with too. Like I'm not gonna,
right,
I look at men the same way. Like I want to drive a brand new car too. I'm not gonna sit out here and mess with somebody that everybody done messed with. If I hear your name one too many times, no, you're not for me. So when I hold women to that standard, I hold men to that standard too. And that's where society is messing up because we don't hold men to that same standard. You
so
know,
I talked about that on my last episode, sexual discipline, right? Of course, men need to exercise some type of discipline sexually, because if you don't, you're just going to run rampant, and you're just going to be wasting a whole bunch of time and just wasting a whole bunch of energy on just women that don't deserve it.
right,
Now, I think where it differs is in terms of how many sexual partners you actually have. Like a
right.
man who has 50 partners, necessarily doesn't make him a bad choice as a husband, right?
So,
It doesn't necessarily make him a bad choice as a husband, because he can still have a lot of great values. Well, the thing is, the threshold for sexual access for men and women is totally different. So a man who is attractive to women and can get a lot of women, he's most times 9 out of 10, he wasn't just born with it. He can actually he actually put in the work to build himself up to reach that level.
right,
Where if you have a woman who has 50 bodies, it doesn't take much for her to get that. She could probably get that in one day if she really wanted to.
right, right. You're absolutely right about that.
So the threshold is much different. So when you have a man who has 50 bodies, it's just not the same as a woman who has 50 bodies or 50
But
partners.
now, see, I have three sons, and I raised
Mhm.
my sons like your body is just as valuable as my, and I have two daughters. Your body is just as valuable as my 2 daughters. You can't be out there giving it to everybody. Like, you're valuable. I wanted them to have just as much respect for themselves as I want my daughters to have respect for themselves. Like, you're not for everybody. You can't be out here just giving it up to anyone.
Okay.
And
So
just because you don't have that many bodies on, that doesn't make you less of a man. That doesn't mean that you, like, for me, a man with a low body count but could have a high body count, that's the most attractive thing in the world. But that's me.
right. I mean, I think a lot of women would find that attractive, but the main thing is typically when you find guys who have low body counts, they're typically not attractive to women.
No, exactly.
So it's like when a man's attractive to women, he's gonna exercise his options. He's gonna get what he can get.
Right, definitely.
So let me ask you. You said you're single.
I'm single, but I'm not single.
Are you married?
I'm divorced, but I'm
okay.
and I only date one at a time. The way my life is structured, if I try to date multiple men, somebody's going to get neglected, and it's not going to be my kids.
Curious, who initiated the divorce?
I did.
You did?
Yes.
Would you consider yourself a single mom?
Yes, I am a single mom.
You let him hit it raw. You didn't have second thoughts. Now you're a single mom.
Okay. So
yes, I'm a single mom. I would consider myself a single mom because my kids, he's a pop-up dad. And don't get me wrong, he's doing the best that he can do. Do I want him to do better? Yes. I would love for him to do better. But he's doing the best that he can do. So I'm gonna take what I can get. Because you can't force a man to do anything that he don't want to do. So, but I am the primary source of income, housing, and a cab, Lyft, the Uber driver for my kids.
okay. Sounds like you're throwing shots at him.
Yeah, I wrote a whole book about him.
A whole book?
Yes.
Oh wow. Okay. So breaking that down a little bit, do you think there has been an unexpected rise in single mothers?
No, to me it seems it's always been like this. It's
You don't think the amount of single mothers have changed over the years?
I think honestly no, yes. I think single moms have decreased because I'm noticing that a lot of fathers are stepping up and they're taking responsibility for their children. But
They're taking, but there's a difference. So you can be committed, but how many of these men are actually like marrying and staying with these women in a relationship? That's
okay,
the difference.
this is my definition of a single mom.
Okay, let's hear it.
The mother that is doing everything on her own. You could be single and not be a single mom because the father is helping you take care of the kids. That's not a single mom to me.
Okay, but do you see an issue with that? So, for example, I see what you're saying. You can be in a committed relationship with the partner and the man be fully vested into life, but you're just not married. My thing is, why are we not focusing on the marriage first and then the children after?
And then the children, and you're absolutely right. But you know what? We as women, we think that, oh, if we have a baby by him, he's gonna marry us. If we have a baby by him, he's gonna marry us. He's gonna be there forever, and eventually he's gonna come around, and we're gonna be the one. And I'm sorry.
I said that's that delusion.
It's a very delusion. It's very delusional. Like, I need my sisters to wake up.
Yeah. So What would be the message you would have to young women right now?
Uh, do not get pregnant before you're 30. Wait,
Okay.
wait till you're 30, because your 20s are
At
for
30.
traveling and figuring it out. Your 30s are
At
for
30.
down if you want to. If you want to settle down and you want to have kids and you want to, that's what your 30s are for. And your 40s are for getting ready for retirement.
I don't know. I might have to disagree with you there. I think women should 100% start dating with intention for marriage and kids in their 20s, mid 20s, I would say.
Yes,
At
no,
30,
yes, you can, but your 20s are for having fun. That's when you have the most energy. Start a business before you want to get married. Start a business. No,
no, you see that's the lie. That's the lie we've been telling them this whole time.
okay.
And that's my point of contention right there, is that
Right.
we tell them, oh, we even tell young men this, oh, enjoy your 20s, live it up, you're only going to be young once, yada yada, and it's just not true.
No, and that's my thing. Like my oldest daughter has two children of 3 and 1, and she's engaged. And you know, I honestly, and it's her life, she got to live it. I can't tell her how to live it. But honestly, for her, I wanted her to travel. I wanted her to start her own business. I wanted her to go out. Shut up. I don't like your sounds.
Because it's bad advice. It
I
is bad
wanted her
advice.
because now that I'm 50, like now that I'm 50 and I'm raising a 13-year-old and I'm raising an 18-year-old, and I am tired. I'm tired. So live your life while you're young. Start your business while you have the energy. But don't, like, if you're not married by the time you're 30, that's not the end of the world.
But you should start treating it like it is.
You should always date with the intent to
Okay, so when you tell young women essentially to go live your life, all they're hearing is, I get to do whatever I want without any accountability, and somebody will come save me when I'm 30. That's 100% true, and that's what we're facing right now.
Right. No, what I'm going to tell these young women, never date without the intention of marriage. If you look at that man, because I'm sorry, I can't speak for all women, but me, I can look at you and I can tell right now, like, you step to me, I'm like, I'm not marrying you. So why am I going to deal with you? You should always date with the intention to marry. I don't care if you're 15, 16, 22, 35, 45, 50. You should always date with the intention to marry.
Okay, but also, okay. But think about it like this. Just take a third perspective view of this. You're a young 20-year-old. You're a young 20-year-old woman. You're essentially in your prime. You're the most beautiful you will ever be, and you're at the legal age where you can date.
Ray, I think I'm beautiful at 50. But okay.
Jesus Christ. All right. Okay. So wait. Most women hit their prime at around 18 to 24. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's when most men will find most women attractive.
The most.
All right. So you're at your prime at this age. You're essentially you're most valuable, and you're at a point in your life where you could really start making adult choices, right? Now, if you're telling this person, go out and travel, go out and do this, but then also date with intention, you're telling a woman who has all the options. She can meet a millionaire one day, she can meet a brokey the next day.
Mm-hmm.
She has all the options, right?
Right.
Why would she take the advice of, I can live my life and someone will still save me when I'm 30, and then actually think about dating with intention? If she's 20 in her prime.
That's not what I'm saying.
No, but that's essentially what you said. You said you should live your life. No, hold on. Exactly. You said live your life in your 20s And then when you're in your 30s, that's when you could really start settling down.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry you misunderstood me. When I say live your life, like if you're dating, okay, say you're dating a man, right? But you want to
Mhm.
travel, then you better date a man that wants to travel, and y'all could travel together. And when you have children, you no longer have a life. Your life is surrounded around these children. So what I'm saying is that meet a man that satisfies your needs and does the things that you like to do, and you do the things that he likes to do, and y'all go out there. And my older sister married her husband, and then like 20 years later they had kids. But they were by not 20 years later. I'm so sorry, that was a lie. But like 10 years later they had kids, but they had traveled. They did everything that they were going to do as a single couple. And then when when it was time, when they were ready, they had children. And by the time that they had children, my sister was able to put everything into her children because she already did all the stuff that she wanted to do.
Okay.
So
So
now she has no
so
she
wait,
has
so wait. She sounds like the exception to the rule.
no,
I'm telling you, she's very much not the picture relationship that we're currently seeing in this dating market right
no,
now.
but
Where
but
we're,
but that's a dope
you're
relationship.
saying it's a possibility. I hear you. You're saying it's a possibility, but that's not. She found a good guy who was actually on that path, right? Most guys are not going to be on that path until they're in a later years in their life because
Oh no, no, my sister was 40 when she had, well, my sister had children when she was young, and then she met her husband when she was in her 30s. And then she didn't have that she no she met her husband yeah, when she was turned 30. And then she had children when she was in her 40s.
okay. I mean, regardless, everything worked out for her, but she still took a huge risk waiting that long.
Yeah.
Because a lot, and if you tell that story and then paint that story as the image as like, oh, this is what you should follow, it's not going to go that way for a lot of women because by the time they're 40, they're way out of their prime and their eggs are pretty much dried up.
But I think there's somebody out there for everybody. And
Oh gosh, here we
like,
go.
no, yes,
Stop the cap.
there's somebody out there for everybody. I am so sorry.
There isn't.
Sometimes
There isn't.
you gotta be happy being alone until you find that somebody that's going to satisfy your needs.
Why not? Why can't the message be date with intention and plan out your life rather than just leaving it up to the world and the universe?
I mean, it's kind
Actually plan out your life. Actually plan out how you want your life to go. So if you want kids by 30, plan out how that actually looks. Plan out what type of guy you need. Plan out what he wants. Plan out what you need to do and what steps you need to take to get along his path.
right,
Rather than just saying, okay, it'll happen. There's somebody out there for everybody. 'Cause let me tell you, that is a lie. A lot of women actually will die alone, and we're starting to see that now. A lot of women are actually not getting married. They're not ending up with a lifetime partner. So, and a lot of men, vice versa, aren't as well. We're not coming together. This is the main issue
right.
with
But
relationships.
what
We're not coming together. People will make good matches, but they're not coming together. So yes, essentially there is somebody out there for everybody, but standards, expectations, mindset, age, different values, morals, religion, all of that comes into play and it turns people off and they end up just wanting to be alone. And
right,
plus, when you add in the fact that women now can make their own money, they have their independence. They don't really need a man to live because men have built a society that they can thrive in.
right.
Men have to put out way more to be attractive for just the average woman.
Okay, so what you're saying is that women should settle.
Everyone has to settle. Settling isn't a bad thing.
You know what?
Everyone has to settle.
I'm so sorry, but I'm not gonna settle. I'm so sorry. Like right now, the guy that I'm dating, that's who I want to be dating, and
That's
he
good.
Right.
But don't you
And
think there's so do you, but let me ask you, do you think there's not a better option out there than him?
honestly, no. At my age, no. No. No, I don't. He's a dope dude. He's a dope dude. And
Okay, so that's the best. So you know that he is the best that you're going to get.
from what
That
I've seen so far.
okay, but the more you keep okay, my whole thing is if you know that's the best man you can get, that is essentially settling. It might be, and he might he might check off every category and box for you, but essentially it's still settling. And what I'm saying is that the modern day women's standards and expectation that they have on men have far exceeded what the average man can provide. So they're not. So you have an average woman who will not settle for an average man, and that gets away in building healthy relationships a lot of times.
No, and you're absolutely right about that. My married girlfriends, when they complain about their husbands, I'm like, does he beat you? Does he cheating on you? If he ain't doing none of that, if he's not beating on you, he's not cheating on you, pick his socks up off the floor, put the toilet seat down. Yes, there are some things out there that we as women that we complain about, and y'all need to get over it. Y'all need to get over it. And he not beating on you, he not cheating on you. He pays the bills. He's a provider. He's doing what a man is supposed to be doing. The little shit you got to get over. I'm so sorry. I don't know if we can
Right.
curse, but the little, y'all got to get over it.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. I think we put a lot. I mean, if you look at the way society is and the dating market's just like really set up now, we're in a market where you have Instagram, you have dating apps, and then you have guys that cold approach, guys with confidence that cold approach. So if you bring that to most women, they're gonna think they have an abundance of options.
Right.
And it doesn't stop until they reach. I mean, you probably still get a lot of attention from online people as well, even head towards you in your
As much
50s.
as you would think, I'm kind of insulted, but no.
So maybe it drops off at 50. I don't really know, but I would
See, I don't post body pics, so
okay. But I mean, I'm guaranteed that if you did, you would probably still get a lot of attention. So the attention never really stops. But what I want to point out is that it's all an illusion. It's
right,
all an illusion to
right,
blind you and make you think that you have all these options. You have all these men who will bend at your whim whenever you want and just be there for you.
right,
When in reality,
right.
that's just
Bullshit.
not the case. Yeah, it's just not the case.
Bullshit.
These men just want to use you for your body, and that's it. And they go on to the next.
No,
So
when I'm a man, I can look at you in 5 seconds and tell if you just want to have sex with me. I can tell by your conversation. I can tell by how you approach me, like just the little things that you do. So that's why I don't it's not a big dating pool out there for me. I don't, I the guy that I'm dating with right now, I am dating him because of I can tell his intentions are pure. He doesn't just want to have sex with me. He does, I'm not a jump off to him.
okay.
And I know, and is he perfect? No. But his pros outweigh his cons. His pros, like he's
Perfect.
a lot of pros and and the cons I can deal with.
My whole thing, I'm fine with that. I'm like black love relationships. Hope you get married one day, by the way. If you want to, or if you're okay with being a long-term girlfriend, that's okay too.
No, I want to. No, I said I don't know if I want to get married, like legally married again. Only because it was so hard for me to get my last name back. So
Mhm.
I don't. But I would like to have a commitment ceremony. Like, you're for me, I'm for you, and we're not dating anybody else.
Okay.
That's
Just be
what I
careful of those common law marriages when you guys are living
right.
in the same house. Yeah, just be careful of that. But I mean, even if you're married and have a prenup and you have that in all written form, whatever. Uh, Honestly, actually, when you get married, you shouldn't even be thinking about divorce. Divorce shouldn't even
Thank
be an
you.
option.
Thank
So,
you. If I have to get a prenup, why am I getting married?
right. I mean, men should always get a prenup, but
So should women. I bet you Mary wish she had a prenup.
I mean, not when they win 50, not when they win 50% of the man's stuff most of the time. They
Look,
don't
Mary,
really need it.
$40,000 a month for what? I don't even know that man's name, and I am a huge Mary J. Blige fan. I don't even know his name. What did he do for $40,000 a month?
Oh, well, that's a very special case.
No,
That's a
but
very
no,
special
wait,
case. Come on now.
EPJ, what did he do?
That's a very special case. You're talking about high earning. You're talking about high earning women and them picking a guy with no status. That's a
It's the
very special
same
case.
thing. It's the same thing. The roles just got reversed.
Nah, it's definitely not the same thing. I mean, and I understand like women sacrifice their bodies, especially when they have kids with a man and they expect him
Mhm.
to really come in and be that provider figure.
Right.
So I do get that you have to give her something, but 50% of everything sometimes I'm like, make a fair prenup.
No,
Right now it's just not fair.
but it all depends on the situation. Like my ex-husband, I helped him build his business. Like you know what? I got the family, I got the house, I got the rent. You build your business. And I did that because I never thought that I was going to get a divorce. I never thought that I was going to get a divorce. And but also I did that because we had children. And I said at the end of the day, I may not get a penny from this man, but my kids going to get that business. Watch. And sure enough, my kids are going to get their get that business.
Well, shout out to them. And
Right. And the reason why I didn't take half of what he owned, because when I make it, you're not going to be able to say you helped me with anything. When I get to where I want to be, you did not help me with anything, but I got bragging rights. You don't.
so you want bragging rights, basically.
Yeah, I got bragging rights. I make millionaires. No, I'm just joking.
All right. So going back, I like I said, I appreciate your story and the relationship that you have now with your partner. My whole thing is how can we bring fathers back into the household and make them a necessity rather than something that's just elective or optional to have? He's not really a requirement. How can we get back to the times where, especially in the Black community as well, fathers are a necessity to have in the home, along with marriage, but we can start with fathers when raising children?
Okay, women have to stop being bitter. Things didn't work out. That's life. But them children don't got nothing to do with it.
So are you saying they should stay with that man
I'm
even?
not saying stay with the man, but
What are
I'm
you
saying
saying?
learn how to co-parent. Me and my ex-husband, and look, if
Mm,
anybody has a
outside of co-parenting though, I mean like being in a relationship, because
okay,
co-parenting situations are good, but nothing helps a child thrive more than seeing both his parents together.
the parents. Well, the father has to want to be with the woman. That's first off. He's got to,
Well,
a lot of
most men want to be with
men
the
are
mother
leaving
of
women,
their children.
huh?
Most men want to be with the mother of their children.
That's really, that's not what I'm
Yes.
I'm
I
what
mean,
I'm saying is that men, they get somebody pregnant and then they do something stupid to break the marriage up, or to break the relationship up. If you really want to be with that woman, then make that woman your priority. Make that woman your priority and show her that you really want to be with her. Now, see, you're probably a lot younger than me, so it's a generational difference. most men that
so
I know, Most men that I know are leaving the relationship or doing something where the woman has to leave the relationship. Don't do
no,
anything.
okay, all right, let's stop right there, right?
Hmm.
Doing so, I'm a big believer in. You're saying the men do something to leave the relationship. Are you talking about cheating most
Yeah,
times?
cheating,
Okay.
putting your hands on her.
All right. Putting your hands on it. Right. I would say though, if you as a woman, 99.9% of men, if given the option to have you and another woman and you everything be okay with it, they're gonna take it. Okay.
Exactly.
So it's a biological hardwiring in us for us to want multiple women. All right. So you kind of need to kill that ego depending on the type of man that you require.
Mm-mm.
Now, if you do truly want monogamy, I'm going to go back to this point. If you truly want monogamy, you have to date a man that is not attractive to a lot of women, because men are only as faithful as their options.
Yeah, no.
So my solution to this, right? Because I've heard this before plenty of times.
Mm-hmm.
You truly want monogamy, and it's something you truly, 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 truly value. You either, I would say, for the most success rate, get a man who's disabled, missing a limb,
Right? No, my
missing
father
he's
was blind, so I get it.
missing some limb, or has mental impairity, some type of visual or hearing impairity. Hearing and visual may not even be enough, but definitely missing a limb. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
women will see that and be automatically turned off.
Right.
So, and that's not even 100% guaranteed. That's just like to increase it to the most it will probably ever be.
Right. You have better chances. You got
Yes,
better
exactly.
chances.
So that's my whole solution. So I think if women truly wanted monogamy, they wouldn't like go for the attractive guys.
Right. Definitely. No, when I see
Like,
attractive men, I get I get an instant headache. I get an instant headache. No,
so
he's gonna be a
are you
headache.
saying the guy that you're with right now isn't
Oh
attractive?
no, he is attractive, but we're not in a monogamous relationship. He could date whoever he wants to. Like,
Really? All right,
and
so
I know what I signed up for. I know what I signed up for. But here's the thing. Don't be mad when you're replaced. Don't be mad when
don't be
I
mad
meet
when you're
somebody,
replaced.
huh?
When you're replaced.
No, when he's replaced.
When
Because if
why
I
would he
meet
be
somebody
replaced?
like you want to go out here and you want to you want to go out here and you want to date everybody, and that's cool because it's other people out there that want to date me. And if I meet a man that wants that monogamous relationship and I leave you for him, you can't be mad because I want a monogamous relationship. I want somebody that just wants to be with me. And like you said, a man is only as faithful as his options. Now, if losing me is not an option, then you're going to be faithful.
If losing you is not an option, he's going to
He's
be
going to be
faithful.
faithful because if you cheat on me, I'm
Whether
out.
he's faithful or not,
Hmm.
he could be the most faithful person. What I want you to not do is to not look for it. Don't try to go through his phone. Don't try to go through his
Oh, I
social.
don't do none of that.
Okay, great,
I don't look
great,
for heartbreak. I don't look for
great.
heartbreak.
Because
It lands on my lap. I don't got to look for it.
but what I'm saying is a lot of women will look for it. They'll start
Oh,
questioning.
yes.
They'll
Yeah,
start
no, I
questioning the
don't do
guy.
that.
It's like
Mm-mm.
don't do any of that. Like if you truly want peace and monogamy, just be happy with him being with you and not concerned about any other women that he might possibly be dealing with.
Right. No, here's my thing. My ex-husband, everything that I found out about him landed on my lap. I didn't have to go through his phones. I don't want the password to your phone. I'm not looking for nothing. I'm not looking for heartbreak. And if I do start to look for it, that means I'm looking for a reason to get out of here. So why would I look for heartbreak unless I want to leave or unless I want to cheat? Those are the only two reasons why I would look for heartbreak. I don't look for no. That's stupid. That's so one of my niece's cousins on on her mother's side. She said her grandmother told you her um uh You can't be mad if you find what you're looking for. You can't be mad. You was looking for it, you found it, now what?
Perfect.
Right. You can't be mad.
You can't be mad.
All I'm gonna say is if he takes a business trip, just slip a little protection in there for him and
I'm
just
not
go
slipping nothing.
go on about your day. That's it.
Yeah,
Mind
I'm
your
not
business.
slipping nothing. But you better hope and pray don't nobody be in my DMs, because when it lands on my lap, I'm out.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a tenement that I preach of practicing sexual discipline, is just knowing when to exercise your options and knowing when not to exercise your options. So
Right.
depending on the situation with your partner and your relationship, and also depending on the type of man you are, right? So if you got to go 50-50 with your girl, or she's paying most of the bills, don't, bro, you got way bigger problems than you trying to get more cat out there, right?
Right.
You need to go get your money up. You need to go get your skill set up. You need to focus on, you can barely focus on that woman, I would even say. So you got to really bring more attention to yourself, do a little self-analysis, and really get yourself up to par. But for
Right.
the men who are in a position to have a little bit more disposable income, a little bit more disposable time, I would say this is where you really need to practice that sexual discipline and just being mindful of your partner, her health, her mental state, her emotional state, and just taking all that into consideration, just being the best person, best version of yourself that you can possibly be.
Now, I don't know how spiritual you are, but exactly. But they say when you're with someone else, you take on their spirits. So if you're out there, and this is for men and women, if you're out there sleeping with multiple people and all these different people, think about all them spirits you're taking on. And now you're wondering why you're depressed. Now you're wondering why you can't focus, why things ain't going your way. Well, you might have a lot of spirits attached to you. And it's because you out here sleeping with everybody. So I mean,
to a degree, I think there's different thresholds for men. Sex obviously doesn't sex to men can be like taking a piss sometimes. Like you just do it. But I would say definitely, like, you can definitely feel when a woman's been through a lot of bad sexual partners and she just has that energy and it just rubs off on you, and you're like, damn, like, why is she, like, she'll be abrasive, she'll be naggy sometimes, like she'll be insecure about herself. So I would say, yeah, I call those are demons, sexual demons, right? You have all those type of guys who probably, like, it wasn't love. They weren't making love to you. They were
Right.
just using your body,
Right.
right? For that moment, just to get that that moment. But definitely the threshold for men and women is going to be totally different. It can happen for men, but at a much higher level. And I think we're seeing this more with, like, the whole Diddy accusations coming out and Meek Mill and all this craziness where these guys are like, have girls throwing themselves at them, and you're now starting to see the effects of that. And with social media, it's all coming to light. And
Right.
the deviancy and the degeneracy that these guys are doing on the side, so definitely the sexual demons are there, and that's why you have to master sexual discipline.
You definitely, and I tell my sons, like, look, I my youngest daughter, I made a deal with her. I told her I'm not going to disclose the amount of money, but I told her if she stays a virgin until she's 18, she's going to get a nice check. I wish I could have did that with my sons. I wish I could have did that with my sons, but how am I going to prove that they're virgins? Like, how can I'm going to have to take their word for it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
no,
yeah, wouldn't even make it. Yeah, I mean, you would have to. I mean, you would have to do that with your daughter too, though, right?
No. I did do. I'm doing that with my youngest daughter. I wish I would have did it with my oldest daughter, but I wasn't in the same mind frame that I am right now. You know what I mean? Like, and it's not that I didn't. It took maturity for me to understand how precious my daughter's body is. Because we live in the day and age where we tell women, oh, we can't slut shame them, and they can sleep with whoever they want to. We have a whole app where you can get dick on demand, and we
Belong to the streets.
And we say it's okay, and it is okay because it's your body. You do what you want to do. But I need, in this day and age, I like when I saw everything that was going on, I need my daughter to understand how precious she is, how precious her body is. And it's not for everybody. You're not going to run through my child. You can run through all these other girls. I do not care. They're not my child. But you are not running through my child. So I thought, okay, how can I get her to not be ran through? And so I told her, you make it to 18 and you're still a virgin, I'll write you a check.
That's actually not a bad way to handle it. I would say another solution is that typically that's where the father is very important in the household, where he kind of like disciplines her and tell her that, you know, men will manipulate you, men will use you in that way for your body.
Yeah, but she gonna look at her dad and like, the way you use them women. Like,
but she has to understand. She has to understand there's a difference, right? So
oh yeah, but it's really
just
not.
understand that there's a big difference. So, what's your thoughts on? I don't know how much you know about internet, OnlyFans, the Cornhub space, where these young women are turning 18, and basically they see this glamorized lifestyle on social media where they can make a whole bunch of money really quick by basically prostituting their body online.
Yeah, I know.
What's your thoughts on that, and how can we combat that for all the younger women out there who are about to be 18?
Okay, you don't have to do that. There's a million ways to make money. A million ways to make money. I honestly, and I'm gonna keep it real, I feel it's a cop out. I feel like it's the easy way to make money, like drug dealers. You know what I mean? Like selling drugs. You know, like you could be a CEO and make more money being a CEO and don't got to look over your shoulder, but it's not as easy as getting on the corner and selling drugs, because drugs sell themselves. All you got to do is stand there. But if you want to be a CEO, you got to get a degree, you got to work hard, you got to work long hours, you got to that's what women are doing. You know, okay, I don't got to punch in. I don't got to work 8 hours. All I got to do is post a pic and I got 10 men giving me $5,000 each. So why wouldn't they do it? It's just like selling drugs. So I'm not, I would never look down on a woman, any woman, for whatever she does. A sex worker, nothing. You know, make your paper, boo. But it's a cop out. Like you're taking the easy route, and at the end of the day, you're putting yourself at risk for AIDS, herpes, rape. You're putting your body at risk.
I would say even that you're putting your body at risk, but you're putting not only your body, but you're putting your mindset around how you view men, how you view relationships.
Yes.
The possibility of actually getting a good man, I think, goes out the window as soon as you start doing shit like that.
You're gonna have to move, and you're gonna have to move.
Right. I mean, even now you have some reformed sex workers who are now finding that, you know, they're getting married or finding a perfect relationship. While that's a very small minority, most of these girls are single for the rest of their life. You know, they never find a good man, because most of the men that see the videos and pictures of them only see them for one thing, and that's their body.
Right.
Access.
Right.
You're not only ruining like the possibility of your health, but just your mindset and above all, relationships, finding a good man and having a family.
You're absolutely right. But you know what? I think the mindset of these young girls today is it don't matter as long as I'm paid, as long as I get to travel, as long as I got that Prada, well, not Prada, Birkin bag. You know what I mean? They're not looking for relationships because they watch their mom in a unhealthy relationship. They 9 times out of 10 they watch their mom in an unhealthy relationship, and they're like, look, before I go through that, I'm gonna get this bag.
Yeah.
And I don't fault them. I don't fault them. I'm a lover. I want to grow up. I want, well, not grow up, but when I retire, I want to sit on the front porch with my husband and watch my grandkids play in my pool. That's my goal. So I have to act accordingly because that's my goal. But if my goal was to make money, I'd have like 10 sugar daddies right now.
Yeah. I mean, this is why this podcast, I guess, exists, because you're trying to change these imps,
Right.
these suckers who want to just throw money at women and not get the same respect or reciprocity in return.
Right. And they're missing
we
out
got to change
too.
these guys one at a time, and hopefully this message is just heard.
No, like if I was dating a man and all he wanted to do was throw money at me, I'm not cooking for you. I'm not cleaning for you. I'm not supporting your business. I'm spending your money because that's what you want me for.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But if I'm with a man that respects me and enjoys my company, then I might cook for you, and I'm like a decent cook. I might cook for you. I might do your laundry. I might watch your kid. Because it's not about the money with us. This is two people who care about each other. So if you show me that you care about me, I'm going to show you that I care about you. But if you show me all you want to do is spend money on me, don't be mad when I spend your money.
All right. You heard it. Don't be a sucker, guys.
Exactly.
Don't. It's not always the best in your best interest to lead with your wallet.
No, it's definitely not.
Yeah. So, Christine, before we wrap this up, do you have any questions for me about the podcast or my opinions, my thoughts?
And I was trying to come up with some questions, but like, I feel like this was a dope conversation. I really don't have any questions. You know what? No. What would you tell my daughter about dating?
Well, give me some
She's 13.
Okay.
What advice would you give to my daughter about dating?
First, I would say set down goals that you want for the rest of your life. So goals that you want in your 20s and goals that you want in your 30s, because me telling her without having goals will just be me putting my own ideals onto her, right? So if her dream is to live out her life in her 20s and then get married in her 30s, cool, I'm fine with that, right? I don't think that's the best way, but if that's the path that you want to go down, you want to live your life out and you want to be independent,
right,
in your 20s and then find a man in your 30s, cool, let's do that, and let's work on a plan on how to do that efficiently so that you can find the right man in your 30s.
Right.
And then just being realistic with her. So you're going to be in your prime in your 20s, and if you want to find a man in your 30s, understand that you're not essentially going to be in your prime, and you're not going to have as many viable options.
Right. You're going to have to settle
in your 20s. Right? Because men look for beauty, they look for youth, they look for fertility, all these things. And you have the most abundance of that in your 20s.
Right.
So yeah, it goes just based on like what she wants, but she's 13 right now, and I would really just put emphasis on preserving her value.
Right.
Really, that's the most important thing. We talked about the car analogy a lot, but it just comes down to preserving your value and understanding how to be a wife and feminine,
right.
Don't see men as this evil thing. Just because there's a few bad apples doesn't make all of us bad.
Right.
So learn how to appreciate men, learn how to work with men. Definitely learn how to use them right now. I would say you're 13, you're heading you're just starting off with your in your teenage years, but this is the time where you could really see value with just hanging around other boys and just getting a look into their psyche and how they act, right? So it can prepare yourself for college and things like that.
Right.
But yeah, seems like you're doing really well, honestly. It seems like,
yeah, I'm trying. No, and I grew up with all boys. My nephews are my age, and we grew up together. So I heard them talking, and I was like, "Y'all not talking about me like that. y'all not talking about. I'm so sorry." And one, my ex-husband was a piece of poo-poo. But one thing he did teach me was self-value. But because he locked me up. I wasn't able to go nowhere, but he locked me up because he knew but not when I left, I realized that's why he locked me up, because he knew what was out here. And he didn't want his wife to be that type of woman. And he didn't have to. The bad thing is he didn't have to lock me up, because that was my husband. Y'all not disrespecting my husband. What do I look like? Like, that's what I don't understand. Like, how women could go out here and be like, my man, but every other man is hitting that. Like, that don't sit well with me.
So my whole thing is when men set boundaries on women's, for example, like what to wear sometimes, or boundaries on going out on girls' trips, and just women will take that as in some form of insecurity with the man, like he's not secure in the relationship. But the truth is, a man who just lets you do whatever you want, honestly, does not care about you.
He doesn't. And that's the one thing I say. I know my ex-husband. I can't say that he loved me because he used to hit me, but I know he valued me. And that's why he locked me up, because he saw the value in me.
Right. Well, this is going to wrap up this episode. Thank you guys for tuning in. You guys are just now coming on to the live stream. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the video. Oh, let me bring Christine back on so she could promote her book.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
Yeah, shout out your socials. Let the people know where they can find you.
Okay, so you can find me on Facebook, Christine Mayo. You can find me on Instagram, Christine Mayo, Unreservedly Us. And I would love to have you on our podcast one day, if possible. Because I do a podcast with 3 other ladies, and we just have candid discussions. And you would be a great guest. But and I'm also the inspiration for the book Through Blind Eyes. And yes, that is me on the cover of the book. I was 6 months out of chemo. And it's called Through Blind Eyes because both of my parents were blind. And I think that's kind of the reason why I'm such a caregiver. And you can find me on TikTok, Christine Mayo Unreserved.
All right. So you guys heard it first.
Yeah.
Follow her on all her socials. Get her book.
Yes, please.
Thank you for tuning in, guys. We are out of here. Hope you enjoyed the episode.
Thank you for having me. This was so dope.